Four people are sitting around the table.
See, in this world, there's two kinds of people, my friend.
Suddenly, a bomb goes off.
Those with loaded guns.
Now take the same scene and tell the audience there is a bomb under that table.
No, you dig.
So the whole emotion of the audience is totally different.
You dig.
So, this episode, this week, I chose the movie The Platform.
Mm-hmm.
Before I start getting into my notes, I want to give my general thoughts and opinions about the entire movie.
I might have taken too many notes.
Honestly, not a big fan. I did not really enjoy The Platform. It was okay. I had a lot of questions, but I just think the way it started was weird. Like, throughout the movie, it was just weird, and the ending was weird. I didn't really like it. It wasn't very cohesive. There wasn't really like a good beginning, and you understand what's going on, and the ending was like the ending didn't satisfy me. I didn't like it. What about you?
I think it's just an okay movie.
Yeah.
I would
agree.
Like, what did I rate the last one? I rated like the last movie like a 7, right?
Yeah.
I'd probably rate this like a 5.5. Maybe a 6. Or maybe, honestly, maybe a 5. It's in that range.
If I had to give it a number from 1 to 10, I'd give it like...
I give it a 5.
I give it like a 4, honestly. It was not great. And I did listen to it in English, so it was dubbed in English, and usually I like watching a movie in like its native language that it was filmed in. Yeah. I don't think listening to this movie in Spanish is going to help anything.
I know that you don't use subtitles.
I do not.
I do. I had to turn the subtitles off for this movie because the English dub did not match the subtitles.
That happened.
So I turned them off, which was okay. Their English accents aren't the best, so it was a little difficult to understand them throughout the movie.
Yeah. So I wrote a total of 70 notes for this movie.
Dang, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I wrote less than that, but I wrote more than I normally do.
Because I've kept a list of all my movie notes.
Yeah.
For The Godfather, I had 28 notes. For Raging Bull, I had 40 notes.
Okay.
For Barbarian, I reached the peak at 67 notes, and now The Platform, I had 70 notes. So I'm getting up and up and up. But I mean, like, when I'm taking my notes, any thought that comes to my head, I write it down. Anything. Any little thing, any detail I notice. It doesn't have to be like this great big thought. It's just like any little thing that I think about.
I think it's kind of crazy that we had more notes for these last two movies that are like were half the runtime of the first two movies, you know?
But also...
Oh, and you had 0 notes for Schindler's List.
Yeah. These are newer movies. Did you notice that? Like, for the last two movies, we had the most amount of notes, but they're also the newer movies.
That's true.
So, this movie opens in what looks to be a restaurant kitchen.
Yes.
And, I mean, obviously now we both have finished this movie. We know what was happening. But when the movie starts, you don't know anything. So...
Okay, I've seen this before, so I didn't experience that.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Excuse me.
I forgot that you watched this before. I didn't. This was my first time watching.
You're
this.
probably like, what the heck is going on?
I wrote, what the fuck kind of restaurant is this?
Yeah.
But it seemed very high end and very
They make very nice food,
prestigious.
and there's an old guy
Very high
that
standards.
inspects all the food.
Yeah. And and my next thought was, what does this platform thing have to do with the restaurant? Because it opens from this restaurant kitchen to this fucking dungeon platform hellhole pit thing, and I was like, what's the connection here? And I had no idea. And then the movie introduces us to our first two main characters.
Do you know their names? Because I do not.
I didn't bother with writing down their names.
I have main character and old man.
Yeah, I have main character and old guy.
Okay.
So we're introduced to the main character, because there's a lot of characters in this movie. And we're also introduced to an old guy who has been in the pit for, what do you say, 2 years?
No. Because
I
he
thought
was
he
only
said
supposed to
2
be there
years.
12 months max. His sentence was only 12 months. And I want to say he'd been there 5 or 6 months.
And the main character starts talking to this guy, and he keeps saying the word obviously, and honestly, it just fucking annoyed me the whole movie. Because every time they said it, I noticed it. Even when like the guy wasn't trying to say it, or maybe it was intentional, but I don't know. I picked up on it, and it just annoyed me the whole fucking way.
It's the old man's thing.
It's fucking annoying.
It's his word as he describes
That's
it.
stupid.
Don't say my word.
Like, bitch, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
And
Something of note, this first level that he wakes up on, and we'll just I just want to set like a groundwork. So this like facility is like a prison / storage house for people that volunteer to go there. It's run by a group called the administration. There's no real backstory for what that is. And you either go there to serve prison time, or you can go there of your own free will in return for something. Our main character went there for a degree, not really knowing what this facility was. And then the last thing, just to set the groundwork, the first level that he was on, because he signed up for 6 months, and he changes level every month. The first level he was on is level 48.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't remember which level he started on.
I wrote them all down,
Oh, okay.
so we can.
Also,
I'll remind you.
as the movie was playing, I thought a higher number level was like better. I didn't realize it was lower and worse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I figured that out throughout the movie. But this old guy, he kind of has a lot of rules for this new guy, the new main character, and it was just annoying me. Like one of his rules is like, you can talk below to other people, but never talk above to others. And with the fucking don't use my word thing, he just had a lot of rules, and he's annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He, in the very beginning, like the way they set the plot is they use the old man. So the old man describes how they receive their food every day. The old man gives them rules like He asks them not to speak to those below, and that the people above him won't talk to him, even if he tries. He says he's been there for months, and while this is happening, basically at the end of this, the first meal comes down.
Yeah.
And basically the way the meals work is, imagine this facility is one giant facility with floors just stacked on top of each other. And you don't really know how many floors there are in the beginning of the movie, but you at least know there's more than 48 because the guy can see floors below him, and he is on level 48. And the way the platform works is there's a set amount of food put on a platform every day for all the people in the facility, and the platform goes down level by level. So since people are greedy, the people at the top take the most food, and as it gets to lower and lower levels, there becomes
quality belch.
there becomes less food and less food until eventually there's no food for the people on really low levels. And
I had a side note about this platform because I saw they lowered the platform. They had all this food. How does it physically work? Because this platform is just floating.
It's magic.
It's not connected to anything.
It's magic.
Like I was thinking, are there cables on it that they're lowering it, or is there a piston at the bottom that
it's just a floating platform.
It's a floating platform, yeah. And the old guy starts eating because he knows that you have to eat, and our main character doesn't really want to eat at first.
Yeah.
And I think he tries to take some food, and
he does. He takes an apple.
Save it for later. And another rule of the whole pit is explained that if you take food, the rooms will heat up to the point of killing you or freeze to the point of killing you.
Yep.
So you can't keep any food. And I wrote down before this happened, like, why don't people just push all the food off the platform to keep it? And then the movie explained that part. So question answered. So he took an apple, the room got really hot, and he threw the apple down the pit in the center of the room back onto the platform, and then the room stopped heating up. And then it goes into the backstory of both the two characters that we've been introduced to. I already talked a little bit about the main character's backstory. He's there for 6 months. He's doing it to get a degree and to quit smoking. And when you're first admitted into this facility, you're allowed to pick one item to take with you, and it could be any item. Our main character took a book. And then it goes into his roommate, the old man's backstory. He was sent there not of his free will. And it's this great story about two items, the Samurai Max and the Samurai Plus. And the way the story goes is he's sitting home watching TV, and there's an infomercial for something called the Samurai Max, which is a knife sharpener that can sharpen any knife to be so sharp that it can cut through bricks. Yeah.
And the old man orders one. And then 15 minutes later, after he's ordered the Samurai Max, another infomercial comes on for something called the Samurai Plus, which is for a knife that never has to be sharpened or gets sharper as it cuts. And he gets so angry that he throws his TV out the window and it hits a person and kills him. The most outlandish backstory ever. And then he was given the option of going to prison or going to this facility, and he chose the facility.
So he's in the pit as punishment.
He's in the pit as punishment, and for his one item, he chose the Samurai Plus, the knife that gets sharper and sharper.
That knife is kind of important because it gets used a lot throughout the movie.
It does.
By other people, not just him.
Another funny note I have, the main character is trying to talk to the people below, and they're like yelling back and forth, and then the old man just pisses on the people below him.
Yeah. That sort of foreshadows something that happens later on by somebody else, kind of.
You talk about Rope Man?
Yeah, rope man.
Rope Man. Okay. Yeah, we'll get to that. Let's see.
I did write when they showed that he kept his knife. I wrote that I think the old man is going to try to kill the other guy with the knife because, like, why else would he bring a knife? And what else is a knife useful for? You know,
For carving lines into the wall. Of course.
Of course. And
It
something
gets to
else.
okay.
Something else I thought about. What, like, before, when I had that thought of like, why don't people just push food off of it? I also thought, why don't people just stand on the platform and like just go down with it?
That happens.
And then a lady is on doing exactly that. Literally, as I wrote that, it happened.
Yeah. So on the third day, the main character finally decides to eat. On the same day, a man, where I'm going to assume gets pushed down the hole. And the old man explains some reason why they jump down the hole when they're at the top. Something about like they have nothing to look forward to throughout the day, so they jump down the hole. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And then on the same day, that's when the girl, or no, it must be the next day. So the fourth day, the girl rides down the elevator, and the old man explains that this girl is always looking for her son. And as she's just sitting on this table of food, and then the main character tries to help her or whatever. He doesn't even really do anything, but somehow he gets on her good side
Because he didn't want to hurt her.
Yeah,
Other people try to hurt her, and he doesn't.
So he did the basic human thing of not immediately trying to attack someone. And that puts him on her good side. And so, which is important for later. And then she starts moving down to the level below them, so level 49. And at that level, she gets attacked by two men.
I thought
and
she
you're
was
like,
done.
Yeah. If you've never seen this before, you're like, oh, she's going to die.
Yeah, she's fucked. Because it's these two big guys, and they just start attacking her, and they fucking take her body off the thing. And they don't show her anymore. You just hear screaming and fighting. I was like, she's done. She's fucked. And it cuts back, and the two guys are dead.
They're both dead.
Back on the platform.
She killed them both and hopped back on the platform.
Yeah. So don't fuck with her.
Then it's a whole montage. It's like a montage that covers the rest of the month. And it's just him slowly starting to accept his life into the pit. And he kind of stops trying to fight like the circumstances he's in.
Yeah.
So like before he's like, why are we doing this? Why does it have to be this way? As the month goes on, you see him slowly accepting that and then kind of becoming more and more like that old man.
And they both start to get along a little bit more as time goes on.
And then it moves to the next level, which is level 171.
So they're lowered, and they're together.
Yeah, they're really low. Yeah, and you keep the same roommate for each level unless your roommate dies or has to leave the prison because their sentence is over. Would you like to explain what happens on level 171?
So now that I understand it, I'm not going to explain it the way I was watching the movie, but now that I understand it, I can explain this better. So they both get onto a level that is much, much lower, And the lower your level is, the less chances you have of getting food are. So the old man, he already knows this. He's been through this. The new guy doesn't. So the old guy takes precautions, and he ties up the new guy because they're on a lower level. They're not going to get as much food. So he ties up the new guy as a precaution because the new guy might go crazy. He might not. The old guy doesn't know what he's going to do. Also, since they're not going to get a lot of food, the old man.
And by a lot of food, he means they will get no food.
Yeah. And because of that, since the old guy has already tied up our main character, he's also planning on cutting off pieces of meat off of this guy to eat him. So that's the old guy's plan. And he leaves our main character tied up for, I don't even know how long, but it's definitely days and days and days. And
it is 8 days.
As soon as the old guy gets hungry, as soon as he can't hold on any longer, he starts to cut off a little piece of this guy to eat him. And he does.
He says, when they get to the level on the first day and he's tied up, he says, I will fast for 7 days. But after that, on the 8th day, I'm going to start to cut off little pieces of you and eat you. But don't worry, I'll also give you a little bit too. Which is a little disturbing.
Yes. This entire movie's a little disturbing.
And then they have these conversations as they're waiting for this 8th day. And the old man keeps saying that, oh, no, I'm not going to be responsible for your death. The ones above are. And the main character is like, no, I'm gonna hold you responsible. You're the one cutting me up. And yeah, and this whole, something that I thought was interesting is this whole time this old man is referring to him as escargot,
yeah,
which plays in later to the movie. But he refers to him as escargot because something about how you need to prepare it is you have to let the snails like sit for a while or like days to like purge themselves. So he's like, you're my little escargot. I'm going to let you sit for a while until I eat you.
I didn't pick up on that. At this point, I'm honestly rooting for the old guy. I don't care about our main character. I'm rooting for the old guy. I want him to win. He's done his time. He's served the most amount of time.
Yep.
As far as we know.
It is. I think it's his last month, right? Like that floor is his last month.
And like he's prepared. He knows what to do. Like he has the experience. I want him to win. Like, and he's not a monster. He's doing, unfortunately, terrible things, but he has to. He's not like, what other options does he have, you know? So I'm rooting for him to win at this point.
So it gets to the 8th day. By the way, I'm not rooting for the old man. It gets to the 8th day. And as the old man is cutting off the first piece of flesh, little does he know the platform is coming down and the lady from earlier that rides the platform is waiting. And this lady, seeing her friend being cut up, proceeds to kill the old man
and saves the main character.
And she saves the main character, and she like quickly bandages him up, and then she hops back on the platform. And
it pays to be nice. If you're nice to someone, they might just help you out, later on.
And then there's like a weird scene that happens where it shows like the head chef getting mad at the cooks for the food not being perfect
because they found a hair in the food.
Yeah.
When the old guy got killed, I thought it was kind of nice that he got killed with his own knife that he brought.
Yeah,
I like that. I mean, I wasn't happy that he
You weren't rooting for him to die, but if he had to, at least let it be with his own knife.
Yeah, I didn't want him to die, but the way he died was a little poetic. He died by his own. Like, if he didn't bring the knife, he wouldn't have died by the knife, But yes. The kitchen finds a hair, and the main chef or whoever's in charge, he's taking it very seriously, and he's not happy.
Very seriously.
He needs to find whose hair it is, and he's like putting it up at people's heads to see whose it could be. But that's really it. They don't show anything else. They just
he's like,
there's a hair.
Is this your hair? No. Is this your hair?
And I wrote the lady who saved the guy. I wrote, she's nice, but she scares me.
Yeah, she's crazy. She's certified crazy lady.
Then I think a night passes, and our main character is having a little fantasy wet dream about the lady that saved them, right?
No.
That's not her? I thought
okay, that might be her,
her,
but there's stuff that happens before that. That's not the next night that passes.
It was a dream, though, right?
Yeah. Okay, here.
All right.
Before you talk about that,
tell me what I'm missing.
So he kills the old dude on the 8th day.
Yes.
Then it's like some weird, crazy montage of him having like hallucinations that the old man's still alive. And it's because he keeps having these because he has to eat the old man to survive. And the old man's like, oh, you ate me. Now I'll always be with you. And then it gets to the end of the month. And then he goes to sleep. And then he has this hallucination, which you can explain.
Yeah.
It is with the lady that saved him.
Oh, okay. He's just having a wet fantasy dream about fucking this lady who's looking for her kid. And they're fucking, and he's thinking about fucking her. Not much else to it.
And then he wakes up to a dog licking his face, and he's on a new floor again with a new person that for their item they brought a dog.
Yes, and this lady is the lady that interviewed him before he went in. And she's part of the facility.
Yep. So she admitted the person. She worked for the administration, and they're on level 33.
Also, why doesn't he remember like getting in there or signing up? Because like when the movie starts, he seems very confused. Like he doesn't.
They put you to sleep.
Yeah, but you would at least still remember.
I guess that's true. Reasoning. I don't know. It's weird.
Like he doesn't even remember that lady. Like she's the one who's asking him questions, like figuring out if he can do the thing, and he doesn't remember her at all.
I like to imagine that you like sign up for this thing, and then like you wait like months and months, and you kind of forget about it, and then just one night they just kidnap you.
It kind of reminded me of the movie The Game with Michael Douglas. Have you seen that movie?
Maybe.
It takes place in San Francisco, and this guy, Michael Douglas, he signs up to this program that I forget what the point of it was, but like he goes into this building, and it's this just big like mega corporation.
Oh, you know what? I have seen that.
They like ask him 1,000 questions.
Spoilers for the movie. Click off if you don't want to learn about this other movie. It's the one about his birthday, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that.
And they like the whole movie, just terrible fucking things happen to him. But like he signed up for it, like he did sign the papers, so it's like all legal and shit.
Yeah,
that kind of reminds me of this because he's like he put himself in there. But now he doesn't know. He doesn't remember things. And he doesn't remember this lady. And this lady is so dumb for bringing her dog. Oh, my God.
Yeah, she is dumb.
It pisses me off.
What? I wrote... Oh, okay. It must be like, I don't know what day this happens on when they're in this new floor, but like the next big thing that happens is one of the days the crazy lady comes down on the platform again, except this time she's like knocked out and she's like about to die. So
I think some people just bucked her up.
Someone above them like really beat the crap out of her. So they take her and save her. And while this is happening, the dog
Oh my God.
takes a piece of food and then the platform lowers. And they're like, why is the room getting really cold? And they're like, oh crap, the dog. So they somehow wrangle this piece of food from the dog and throw it down the pit. Not the dog. They throw the food down the pit.
Dude, when the dog was on the platform eating and like the other two people were like attending the chick, I thought they were going to forget about the dog and the dog was going to lower with the platform. That's what I thought.
That's what I thought too, because I didn't remember that part.
Jumping off. They just show the dog is on the platform.
I thought the dog was about to be the next floor's meal.
Yeah. Then they all go to sleep.
Yep.
And in the morning, the dog is dead.
Yeah, he wakes up to the two women fighting.
Yeah.
Because crazy lady has cut open the dog. Oh, something we didn't mention: the knife that the old dude brought. When the crazy lady saved him from the old dude, she took the knife.
Oh, she took it? Oh.
She took it. That's why. That's what she had to kill the dog.
I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah.
She had the world's sharpest knife.
She had the world's sharpest knife that only gets sharper with use. It is in the hands of the craziest lady in the whole facility.
I was sad for the dog, but honestly, I didn't expect anything else. Like that dog wasn't going to last long.
Yeah. She killed the dog, and then as soon as the next platform came, they sent her back down, which is what the crazy lady wants.
And I forget at which point this was, but I think it was with the woman with the dog. But when the platform gets there, the main character now puts a pillow down under his knees, just like the old man, to eat.
Yeah.
So he has adopted traits from the old man. And this reminds me of Breaking Bad. Do you know what I'm talking about right now? It's not like a big story thing.
Yeah.
It's just like a little detail about Breaking Bad.
Yeah, you're talking about what's the black dude that owns the chicken facility?
Gustavo Fring.
Yeah, you're talking about when Gustavo adopted the trait of Jesse's previous girlfriend, right? When he gets blown up and then he dies just like Jesse's previous girlfriend?
No.
He adopts the trait of dying?
No.
That does happen.
Something smaller, a smaller detail.
But that does happen, right?
Yeah. He gets blown up.
Yeah. And him dying is adopting the trait of Jesse's girlfriend.
Sure.
Who died a different way. She didn't get blown up. She died of an overdose. But
what I was thinking of was Walter White. Walter White kills Gustavo, and Gustavo. There's one moment when he goes to throw up into a toilet, and he rolls up a towel and places it under his knees, and then throws up into the toilet. And after Walter kills Gustavo, Walter now adopts the same thing. The next time Walter goes to throw up into a toilet, he rolls up a towel and places it under his knees, just like the.
I never noticed that.
Yeah, I've watched so many videos about like Easter eggs and like details you might have missed in Breaking Bad, and they talk about that a lot. So I noticed.
I obviously wasn't on that video subscription list because I never noticed that.
And for like when I seen that in this movie, I thought Breaking Bad, because now the main character is adopting traits of the person that he had killed. So a little hint of Breaking Bad in there.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, after this crazy lady goes down, him and his new roommate, or the main character and his new roommate, this lady, or I'll just call her Dog Lady, have a conversation about her, because she admitted her. She admitted the crazy lady as well. And the main character is like, oh, she's just looking for her son. And the Dog Lady's like, no, she's just crazy. She doesn't have a son, first of all. She came in here trying to be an Asian Marilyn Monroe, and she brought a ukulele as her gift, or her one item to bring. So that kind of just establishes that the crazy lady is crazy. And then the Dog Lady reveals that the reason she's in there is because she has cancer and it's gone bad. I don't know why you'd want to go in there if you have cancer, unless maybe they can fix it.
Like, what is she gonna get out of it?
Yeah, I don't know. And then she does an even stupider thing where before the dog died, because this Dog Lady is all about trying to be fair with the amount of food she eats, and she tries to get everyone around her to eat only their portion of food, which hasn't been working, by the way.
Yeah, that shit was stupid.
Yeah, so when the dog was alive, one day she would eat her portion of the food, and the next day she'd give up her portion for the dog. And even after the dog dies, she keeps doing it. I'm like, why?
That I can understand. But, like, when the dog was alive, why couldn't they just both eat? Like, it doesn't matter. But I can understand her not wanting to eat after her dog died, when it was the dog's day to eat. I can totally understand that, because, like, when people suffer grief from losing a loved one, they'll still celebrate that person's birthday even after they're dead, or some they'll still do things to remember those people after they're dead, even though logically it makes no sense to do that. But it doesn't matter. Logic doesn't it doesn't matter with that type of shit. So I can totally get her not wanting to eat when it was her dog's day, her dog's turn to eat. I totally get it.
Okay.
Bitch.
So yeah. I forgot to add in here, it was an interesting note. Sometime during this whole section of the floor, she keeps trying to get the people below to only eat what they're supposed to eat.
Yeah, stupid.
And they're not
prepares
listening.
them plates?
Yeah.
No, come on.
Because she's on the side that, like, things are only going to get better if, like, people choose it of their own free will. And the main character is kind of under the impression that, like, no, things will only get better if we force things to get better. So one way he proves that is one of the days he says, listen, if you guys don't eat only your portion, I'm going to start shitting in all the food. And literally, every day after that, the people below only eat their portion of food.
Which, like, okay, the lady, she kind of got what she wanted. Everybody's eating their portion. But she knows how many floors there are. And after a certain amount of floors, like maybe 2 floors,
she only thinks there's 200 floors. She mentions that. She says there's only 200 floors. There should be enough food on that table for 200 floors.
Like, what's the point with doing the food? It's giving everybody their portion. Like, there's even 200 floors. There's not going to be enough. And, like, everybody's just going to keep
honestly
up the table.
I agree with you. Just looking at that food, like, there should not be enough. Like, I don't think there's enough food on that table for, like, 200 people.
The size of that platform is like the size of a really large dinner table.
Yeah.
And, like, it's very full, but
each floor has 2 people. So 200 floors.
400, and there's really more.
There's more floors.
There's no fucking way everybody's eating. So.
So yeah, that kind of unravels itself.
It's just illogical.
Then it kind of fast forwards through the month, and the next floor he wakes up on is floor 202, which shouldn't be possible because the lady said there's only 200 floors. Yeah. And he wakes up and he finds that the lady has already killed herself. She said, "Oh,
fucking
I'm on
stupid.
floor 202. Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna hang myself." And instead of jumping, like a lot of people do, she just hangs herself. She does this so that she at least leaves herself to be eaten by the main character.
This lady's just stupid. She has cancer. She puts herself in this pit and she kills herself. What the fuck is wrong with this lady? I'm not for it. Fuck no.
The main character does not want to eat the lady. In fact, he eats his book before he eats the lady.
I think it's stupid. Why? Just eat her. Why does it matter? Like, it's about survival, bro.
The anger is coming out. Christian really did not like this movie. This floor went by really quick. It was basically a montage of him going crazy and then slowly coming to the decision that he can't just survive off of eating his book and he needs to eat the lady. That's basically the montage of this whole floor.
The people that have died are like talking to him as like ghosts or like figments of his imagination, and they're just tormenting him. Like they will not get out of his head. And that reminded me of like when cartoons have like the angel and the devil on their shoulders. It was like that kind of conversation. That's what
That's a great comparison because the woman is like the angel and the old man is like the devil.
But honestly, just eat her. Just eat
it. Let's see. And so that section is really short, and then it moves on to the next month. So he makes it. He survives on floor 202. And this is the 5th month. So on his new floor, which is floor 6, this is the 5th month. So all he has to do is survive this floor, which is easy because it's floor 6, and then whatever the next floor is going to be. And then he's out. I want you to keep that in mind. I want the viewers to keep that in mind for the stupid decision that he makes.
I think this whole movie is just full of stupid decisions.
So he wakes up on floor 6 with a new person. We'll call him the rope man. And this man, for his one item, believe it or not, he brought rope. And his whole goal has been to hopefully wake up on a high level floor so that he has the best chances of escaping. And he was going to use his rope and pass it to the higher floor and try and climb up the rope and keep going until he can get to the top.
I never realized that his item that he chose was rope. Because I was wondering, like, how did he get that?
Yeah, the one item he chose is rope. That's like, the only way that you could get rope in there.
It's like a giant length of rope that he holds over his shoulder. I'm like, how
it's like
fuck
a
did he get that?
Rope that would be used to secure like a yacht to a pier. It's like 1 inch thick, like rope.
That rope's probably like 75 feet long. So that's not enough rope, honestly.
Well, I think his plan is to pass to the next one, and then on that floor, pull the rope back up, pass it to the next floor.
But he would have to convince everybody to have
I know. It's very unrealistic. As the next, here, you talk about the next scene as he's trying to climb it. On the first day, he's trying to talk to the people above him and convince them to take the rope. And then this next scene that Christian's going to explain happens.
So he's talking to these people that are on the floor above him, and he convinces them to help him. So he throws up the rope to catch it, and he's climbing this rope. And my expectation was that they're just gonna drop the rope. They're gonna just say fuck this guy and kill him. Drop the rope, and they don't drop the rope. He's climbing. He gets to the top, and they point their ass cheeks into his face and shit a projectile dookie straight into his noggin. and that makes him fall. And out of all the things that I thought were gonna happen, I never expected them to shoot to shoot a shit out of their ass into his face.
No one ever expects to be shit on.
Dude, that thing had some force coming out. It was shot out. That was I couldn't help but laugh during that. It was just I couldn't believe what the fuck I was just watching.
Yeah, so he gets pooped on. Luckily, he falls to the floor that he was stationed. He falls back to floor 6 with the main character. But at the same time, the rope falls down the pit, never to be seen again. And then he is very, very upset that 1, they pooped on him, and 2, he lost his rope.
Then the main character, he tells Rope Guy about his new idea about riding the platform down, and I think this is a bad idea.
This is a terrible idea.
I just wait it out. You're almost done. You're on a high floor. Just wait it out. But no, he convinces the Rope Guy to go down with him, and then the movie gets a little weird.
Because like everything at this point is stupid. Like this main character is making a terrible decision. The Rope Guy's lost his mind, so he's making bad decisions. And they're like, you know what? We're gonna save the food on the platform when it comes to us, and make sure that people past level 50 get food. I'm like, okay, but what's the point? You're gonna be stuck at a lower level, and then you're just gonna die. And so he's like, he talks to the rope man, who is a strong person. And he's like, I can't defend the platform alone, but with you, we can defend it together. So they hop on the platform when the food comes, and they've like broken apart their beds and stuff to make improvised weapons, and they start riding the platform down.
And they get to a guy that the Rope Guy knows. And
wait, before you explain this, you can continue explaining this in a second. There's a scene before they get to this dude I think is hilarious. They get to a floor where they're like, as they drop floors, they're yelling at the people to stay back and like stay away. We're saving the food, and they threaten them, and they have to kill a few people. Mm-hmm. But there's this hilarious scene where there's this dude where his one item's a surfboard and is propped up in a corner. And the black dude says, "Stay behind your surfboard, motherfucker." And this dude runs and hides behind his surfboard.
Yeah. Then they get to this old guy who's in a wheelchair, and he's like some wise thinker or whatever. And the old man in the wheelchair convinces them to like share the food and just save one thing to go all the way to the bottom. And they listen to him. They were just gonna.
But that's smart. I think what they were doing before was dumb, because the argument that this new old man is trying to make is like, listen, things will never get better unless the people that make the food realize what's happening here. And they're not going to get a message unless we send them one. And then he's trying to explain to them that the best message that they can send is if they send a good piece of food back untouched, which has never happened before. And that's the point that they're trying to make, which I think is better. Like, it's it's at least at the very least more productive than just handing out all the food to the lower levels, because that accomplishes nothing. That's just one day worth of food. The people are still going to starve. It's the first day. So at least this way that maybe they can send a message to someone.
I can see that now. Okay. And then they start going down, and it seems like the plan is working so far.
Yeah. So something that I forgot to mention, when the main character is going crazy on floor 202, he calculated how long a platform stays at each level, and then basically used that to figure out how many levels were below him. And he thought there's 250 levels because he's like, okay, if the platform stays on each level for X amount of seconds and then moves to the next one before it gets shot all the way back up after reaching the last level, there should be roughly 250 levels.
Honestly, he wasn't that far off.
Yeah, it was pretty close. So as they're going down and handing out, they start passing out food to people past level 50. They have to kill a lot of people on the way down to level 50, which I don't think is a great thing.
Everybody is on the same page. Not everybody agrees. So yeah, they do have to kill some people.
Then they're past level 50. They've been handing out food for a while. And then they get to a floor where no one's alive. Both people are dead. And that's when they realize that the platform does not stop if there's no people. So then they're like, oh crap, there's way more than 250 levels.
Yeah.
And then the platform keeps going down. They're have to be at a pretty low level. I don't think it really shows you. But they get to a level where there are two people. And then the main character and Rope Man get attacked. And
They
this
nearly die.
Yeah, they almost die. Rope Man gets stabbed, and the main character almost gets strangled to death, but thankfully the Rope Man, even with being stabbed, kills his attacker and then kills the main character's attacker. And like on their last legs, they hop back on the platform, and luckily they do not die.
Then they reach the bottom.
The last level, floor 333.
And there's someone hiding under a bed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little kid. And
Which there is not supposed to be any little kids.
Yeah, no kids under 16 are allowed in the pit.
Yep.
But this kid looks like maybe
Young.
10,
Nine
maybe
or
less.
10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's never said for sure, but this is presumably the child of the lady who was looking for her kid.
Mm-hmm. Even though the genders don't match up, because the lady was looking for a boy the whole time, but the child they found was a girl.
Yeah.
Which I don't know.
So it's weird because like how did this kid get in there? The kid couldn't have gotten in the official way by like signing up or whatever. She had to get in another way because they don't allow kids to get in, at least under 16.
And another weird thing is that like if the kid is always like I have a feeling like this kid is always on the bottom level. Like the kid never changes. Which doesn't make sense because how is she having food to survive?
Exactly.
Why does the kid never have a roommate? Like a lot of things just don't add up. There's a scene where this last dish that they saved, they decide to give it to the girl because the main character realizes instead of sending a dish back, we'll send the girl back because that's a way better message than just sending a piece of food back. So they give this last dish that they saved to the girl, and the platform leaves. And even though they kept the food on the floor after the platform left, the room never gets hot or cold, which is weird. So I feel like this girl is like stuck on this weird level where like she's not allowed to die or something. It's not explained at all, and it's just weird.
Yeah, the last floor is weird. I don't know what to make of this girl at all.
Yeah.
It's just strange. And then the movie ends. The kid is on the platform. It gets shot up. Cut to black. The movie's over.
Yeah. They feed this woman or this girl. They have to stay on this level for one day with the girl. And on the next day when the platform comes back down, they hop on it, except Rope Man died. He died overnight from his wound. So the main character and the girl hop down on the platform, and then they go to the bottom, the very bottom. So there's not a floor, there's not a room at this point. It's just like a dark pit. And then the main character has a hallucination with the old man, and the old man's like, "Oh, you're not the message. You can't stay with the girl and ride it back up to the top. You have to come with me." And he walks into the darkness with his hallucination, and then the girl stays on the platform and gets shot to the top, and then the movie cuts to black and is over. So it never really explains what happened at all, and that's just the end of the movie.
This is one of the reasons why I didn't super enjoy this movie, because they just leave so many things unanswered. They left me with more questions than answers. So I did not enjoy it that much. It was okay, but it's just weird. Very strange ending.
Yes, I agree. It is a weird ending. A lot of things at the end don't make sense. Like the ideas are kind of there, but like if you like poke just past the ideas and like start looking at the details, stuff stops making sense.
Yeah. And there's a sequel to this movie, The Platform 2.
I might watch it.
I'm not going to watch it.
I looked at the trailer. It looks interesting.
Is it new characters or the same characters?
Yeah, it looks like it's a different timeline. Because like in this timeline, I don't know if it's before or after, but people are sharing food equally. And then a new person comes in who I'm going to assume is the main character, and he starts hoarding the food, which is, it might be like a backstory to why people don't share food anymore for the first platform movie. I don't know. I just watched like a minute of the trailer, so
Watching this movie does not make me want to watch the second movie. It was okay.
If the second movie explained more about what was happening, I think it'd be worth it to watch. If it doesn't, and it's just kind of like it leaves a lot of unanswered questions, then I would probably say it's not worth it. But I mean, I'll never know unless I watch it. So
I'm never gonna know because I'm never gonna watch it.
I'll probably watch it. I'll let you know.
Okay.
Or actually, it's my choice to pick. Maybe I'll just make you watch it.
Oh, don't please, don't. It was an interesting pick. Sabrina actually wanted me to watch this. She recommended it to me, and she told me that she's seen it. She liked it. It was weird, and so then I picked it, and I don't like it. Like it's okay.
Yeah.
But
Now you can't take her recommendations anymore.
yeah. Well, do you have any final thoughts? Any last things to say?
This movie's weird. If you don't like movies that aren't in English, you probably won't like this because it is dubbed. So it was originally in Spanish, as in not, as in like from Spain Spanish, and so I watched it in English, like a dub version. None of what they're saying matches up with what their lips are doing. So if you hate that, you're not going to like this movie.
This was the first foreign film we did.
Yeah, that's
at least
true.
for the podcast.
I have another movie that's a horror film that also involves cannibalism. That's a foreign film as well. But maybe I'll pick that one day. I don't know. If I get real bored.
All right. Well, that's it for this episode of the I almost said the Untitled Podcast.
God damn it.
That's it.
The
for this
Dead
episode.
Cat Podcast. Yeah.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time when we pick a new movie. Bye.
Say hello to my little friend.